Emily Carter was only 26 when she started teaching English literature at a well-known high school in New York. She had always dreamed of being a teacher. To her, teaching was not just a profession. It was her passion, her way of shaping young minds and inspiring future leaders. Emily was not only intelligent, but also strikingly beautiful. Her soft brown hair fell just below her shoulders, and her bright green eyes sparkled with warmth every time she smiled. Students admired her because she made every lesson feel alive. She didn't just explain Shakespeare or Hemingway. She performed them, bringing the words to life with her voice, her gestures, and her emotions. Among her students that year was a boy named Daniel Rivera. He was 17, tall, with dark hair and sharp, thoughtful eyes. Unlike most of his classmates, Daniel wasn't distracted by sports, games, or social media. He loved books, poetry, and writing. His essays were deep and powerful, filled with emotions that surprised even Emily. At first, Emily saw Daniel the way she saw all her students, bright, curious, full of potential. But as the weeks passed, she noticed something different. He always stayed after class to ask her questions, not just about the lessons, but about life, about dreams, about the world outside. One afternoon, he lingered by her desk as the other students left. "Miss Carter," he asked, "do you ever feel like books understand us better than people do?" Emily looked at him, surprised by the question. She smiled gently. "Sometimes," she said, "books can say the things we can't always put into words. But remember, Daniel, people can surprise us too." That moment stayed with her. It was simple, but his words touched her heart. The slow change day by day, Emily began to notice Daniel more. He wasn't just intelligent. He was kind, respectful, and had a quiet strength that stood out among teenagers. When he spoke in class, his voice carried conviction. When he wrote, his words carried depth far beyond his age. One evening, while grading essays, Emily stopped when she reached Daniel's paper. The assignment was to write about love in Shakespeare's plays. Daniel's essay wasn't just academic, it was personal. He wrote, "Love is both a gift and a curse. It gives us wings to fly, but it also ties us in chains. Sometimes the most powerful love is the one we are not allowed to have." Emily's hands trembled as she read. Was this just literature? Or was he writing about something more? She shook her head, reminding herself, he's just a student. I'm his teacher. This cannot be. But her heart whispered otherwise. The confession. The turning point came one late afternoon. Emily was in her classroom, preparing for the next day, when Daniel knocked softly on the door. "Come in," she said, trying to sound casual. Daniel stepped inside, holding a notebook. He looked nervous. "I wrote something," he said, "and I want you to read it." Emily hesitated, then took the notebook. Inside was a poem. The words were raw, honest, filled with longing. It spoke of admiration for someone untouchable, someone who was both near and impossibly far. When she looked up, Daniel's eyes met hers. For a moment, the world stopped. She knew, and he knew she knew. "Daniel," she began, her voice shaking. "I know this is wrong," he whispered, "but I can't hide it anymore. Miss Carter, I think I'm in love with you." Silence filled the room. Emily's heart raced. She wanted to deny it, to laugh it off, to tell him he was just confused. But deep inside, she knew the dangerous truth. Part of her felt the same. Her throat tightened. "Daniel, you're my student. This can't happen. You understand that, don't you?" His eyes were full of pain. "I know, but feelings don't follow rules." The inner battle. That night, Emily lay awake, staring at the ceiling. Her mind screamed, "This is wrong. You're a teacher. He's a student." But her heart whispered, "He understands you in a way no one else does." She thought about the loneliness she often felt. Her friends were busy with their own lives. Her family lived far away. Sometimes her apartment felt empty after long days of teaching. And now here was someone who admired her, respected her, and cared for her deeply. But he was only 17, and she was his teacher. The next day in class, she avoided his eyes, tried to keep her distance, but every time he spoke, every time he smiled, she felt the pull again. A week later, Daniel asked if he could see her after school. Emily hesitated, but agreed. They sat in her empty classroom, the sun setting through the windows, painting the room in golden light. Daniel spoke first. "I don't want to make your life difficult, Miss Carter, but I need to know. Do you feel anything for me?" Emily's breath caught in her throat. She wanted to lie, to say no, to end it there. But the truth slipped out. "Yes," she whispered, "but I can't. I mustn't." Tears welled in her eyes. "You have your whole future ahead of you, Daniel. I'm supposed to guide you, not hold you back. If I cross this line, I lose everything. My career, my respect, and worst of all, my duty as your teacher." Daniel's voice cracked. "I don't care about the rules. I care about you." Emily reached out, gently holding his hand. "And that's why I have to let you go. Because if I truly care about you too, I must do what's best for you. One day, you'll understand." He looked at her, his eyes full of sorrow. Slowly, he pulled his hand away, nodded, and walked out of the room without another word. Aftermath. Emily sat alone, tears streaming down her face. She felt both broken and relieved. She had chosen the harder path, the path of responsibility. Days turned into weeks. Daniel kept his distance in class. He no longer stayed after school. But she could see in his eyes that the memory lingered, just as it did in hers. Years later, Emily became a professor at a university, known for her passion and dedication. Sometimes she thought of Daniel. She wondered where life had taken him, whether he still remembered her, whether he understood her choice. And though she carried that secret love in her heart, she knew she had done the right thing. For love is not only about desire, it is also about sacrifice, about knowing when to walk away.